But like, can we get back to the New York Times? I don't disagree with you on some things about the New York Times, but I do believe it's still the paper of record. I used to read the New York Times and then the Washington Post. And the Washington Post, I found, was much more straightforward than the New York Times. I thought that the writing in the New York Times was much more interesting and flowery, and perhaps that may have sort of influenced people. But then I read it and I said, you know what? After a while, I said, this is a more left-leaning message than the Washington Post. But the Washington Post now, I don't know what the fuck is going on with them and Jeff Bezos.
Well, they just had a big, shift. I mean, they went super woke too, like the New York Times. It's a generational thing, a certain cadre
You
of
think
people.
the Washington Post went super woke?
I got to give you my book that came out last year.
I have it. I was on your show, remember? You gave me a copy of it.
Okay. Well, there's a really funny one in there about the story in the Washington Post. There was a Dave Weigel, I think is his name. He's one of the star reporters. I think he's somewhere else now. Very respected guy. And he tweeted something that was so benign. I think it was, all women are polar. You just have to find out whether it's bi or sexual. Oh, no. No.
All women are
Polar.
bi. You just have to figure out if it's polar or sexual. That makes more sense.
I'm
Bill.
making.
You're high.
I'm high. I'm fucky. Anyway, it was benign. I thought it was just somebody. It's just a joke, for Christ's sakes. Get over it. The insanity that went through the newsroom, and we did the thing on it. It's in the book. It's just hysterical. I mean, I hardly had to embellish it, but of course, who could resist? At least making jokes about it. But like, there was a reporter who was just, shall we say, a lot. And she went apeshit about this. And of course, nothing can be done behind closed doors. Everything had to be done on Twitter. And so, he was let go. And then somebody else joined the Twitter fight on his behalf. And that he was the person who had to be it was like the fact that this fucking kindergarten went apeshit over this silly little joke on Twitter.
Yeah.
So please, the question, do you think they've changed? Yes, they have.
Well, two things. I wouldn't know about what you're talking about. Joking is kind of my story. But
read the piece.
Yeah, but I get it. But I mean, I'm talking about the content in the post. I understand. I agree with you on the fallout. I think it's ridiculous. But on the contents, at least the people who are writing for the Washington Post, I think that they are really good journalists, and they tend not to be as biased or as left. But
and there are some for the New York Times too.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is ridiculous. And I think, look, that's the reason I think that Democrats are in the place that they're in now, is because of shit like that.
Of course.
And because they get rid of their strongest allies for some stupid thing that no one is perfect. Look at Al Franken. It was the dumbest thing that I've ever seen. I had a really tough time. I'm in New York. I had a really tough time, filling in the dot for Kristen Gillibrand, because she did that and she was such, virtue signaling.
Don, I'm sure if you had a nickel for every time someone's hand drifted down your waist when you were taking a picture with them, you'd be a very rich man. I'm just guessing.
I would.